Hi, I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from Your Black World, and I'm about to head to South Africa to speak about racism, diversity, the lack thereof. If you're not really hip to what's going on in South Africa, as you can imagine, the racial problems there are almost as bad as they are in the United States. Maybe worse, depending on how you measure it. But this racism thing is universal. White supremacy is all over the world. There have been a lot of people that have been hurt by white supremacist attacks that are really interesting because sometimes the white supremacist attack actually occurs from an attacker with a black face. And that leads to what I want to talk about before I get on this airplane. And I had to really share this thought with you, and I hope that it is taken in the way that it's meant to be taken. I saw this video, and it's very popular. I think the video has 60 million views when I saw it. And basically, the chorus of the song is "I'm in love with the Coco." And it's basically got this black man with a gun and money and drugs and all the all the stuff that I call nigga shit. When I say nigga shit, I'm talking about stuff that they think that black people want to do, that think black people want to be involved with, stuff that they think reflects who we are as people. We're not intelligent, creative, meaningful, relevant human beings. We are animals who will pretty much do anything that will put us in a prison cell or a casket. And so basically in this video, you got this brother that's pretty much saying over and over, "I'm in love with the Coco. I'm in love with the Coco," and I guess it's catchy. But if you watch the video, all throughout the video, the imagery is very, very stereotypical, very disturbing, very problematic. Because what it's effectively doing is it is promoting drug use, drug selling, and illegal activity amongst young black men. And the last thing we need in America is to have the mass marketing to millions of young black men the idea that it's somehow glamorous to be in love with the Coco, to want to sell dope and want to be a dope boy and all this other stuff. And I'm really disappointed in how this works because I looked it up and I said, okay, this video got 60 million views. In order for a video to have 60 million views, you have to have corporate money behind that. There has to be a corporation that is giving money to finance this kind of psychological genocide. And that's what it is. It is racist psychological genocide. So I looked up the label connected to it. I saw Conglomerate Records, which is connected to the brother Busta Rhymes. And then I saw that Conglomerate is a part of the Universal Music Group. And what's interesting is that basically what you're really seeing is a plantation mentality, where even during colonial days, what they would do is when they want to when the racist white folks want to occupy a certain territory, they always hire black overseers to implement their policies. So they sprinkle money to the people on top to oppress and to destroy the people on the bottom. So in this case, you have companies like a Conglomerate Records and some of these other little record labels that pop up. They're always being fed by an overseer. There's always a white man in the background calling the shots. It may not be a white man, it may be a board of directors, some capitalist entity that is calling the shots. So these guys really are not bosses like they claim to be, because they're being bossed. And basically, as a result, what happens is I think these corporations form these subunits so they don't have to get their hands dirty. It's almost like having somebody murdered, but you don't actually pull the trigger, so you can say, "Hey, I didn't do anything." But you did order the execution. You ordered the extermination. You ordered that murder to happen. And it basically, so videos like "I'm in love with the Coco," you are committing genocide, psychological genocide on a whole generation of young black men who are going to see this because music is marketing. Any good psychologist will tell you that if you repeat something over and over and over again inside your head, it sinks into your subconscious. Your subconscious dictates what your primitive brain does and how you see the world. So if I'm a 9, 10-year-old kid and all I'm doing is saying I'm in love with the Coco, and I'm picturing a guy that looks like me, that's holding a gun, got some dope, got some money, doing all, got some liquor on the side, then I'm gonna see myself as a gun toting, liquor drinking, weed smoking dope dealer. that's what I'm gonna see in myself. And so music is a form of marketing. If you don't believe me, go hang out with high school kids and observe how much they dress like their favorite rappers, how they change their slang based on what their favorite rappers are saying, how they reference their favorite rappers, or they reference shows like Love and Hip Hop when they're talking about what's going on in the world, when they're talking about relationships or anything. And so, basically, here's the bottom line. That song is probably the most racist song that's been produced, at least in the last 2 or 3 years. It is a racist song, and I don't care if a black man is rapping it. I don't care if a black man owns the label that put it out there, because these people are basically being paid to destroy black children. So, in that regard, they are as much a part of that destruction, a part of that racism as anybody. So, one of the things that you have to really get past is this idea that a racist policy cannot be implemented when the person that's doing the oppressing happens to have a black face. Actually, racism is more effective when you put a black face on it. And it happens all the time. There's some other examples I can give you, but I'm not going to go into all of those. But basically, you don't be fooled by the color of the oppressor. Understand, in the back, the puppet master that's pulling all these strings, that's making this happen, that's giving millions of dollars to promote this imagery of young black men become, glorified as drug dealers. The person paying for all of this is pretty much a board of directors consisting mostly of white males who see a profit opportunity through the exploitation of the psyches of young black children. So, not only do I condemn the song, but I condemn the idea of any black man, any self-respecting black person who will support that kind of imagery being promoted massively to young black children who are going to see the drug dealing and slinging dope and getting high and all that as something good. You don't love black people. You hate black people. Like Malcolm X used to say, he used to say the white man will sell you the liquor bottle and then lock you up for being drunk. And I say it all the time because I think it is so true. We have our children being sold things that are going to make them only a fraction of who they could have been. And so, years later, when this guy has absorbed some identity of himself that is disconnected from who he's meant to be, you can only look back at the influences that have hit him along the way. And if all he's been hearing his whole life is, you ain't nothing but a real nigga. You a dope slanging nigga. You a killer nigga. Whatever little stupid messages that this kid has been receiving his whole life, that's going to shape who he becomes as a man. I think that black people who support this kind of thing, you're not a friend to the black community. You're an enemy to the black community. And I hope that you will take the time to really understand that this music does have an influence. If rappers had no influence on young children, then corporations wouldn't pay rappers millions of dollars to wear certain sneakers or to promote certain brands. They pay Lil Wayne, for example, money to wear. I think he was with Mountain Dew. Mountain Dew paid him millions of dollars because they knew that he influences. He's an influencer of young people. He gets young people to do things. And so, when you talk about young black children, our kids have been, if you want to know why we see the chaos that we see in the streets right now, a lot of it is because we're not talking about the violence and the incarceration as things that should be avoided. We're not talking about these as things that are causing pain in our families. We're talking about them still sometimes in ways that make them seem glamorous and cool. And so that's why you got Bobby Schmurder, who's been promoting gun violence, keeping it real, and it's cool to keep it real until keeping it real gets real, and you're facing 25 years in prison. So basically, that's all I want to say about this song. You should go check it out and watch the video. If you are on any level a conscious black person, on any level, if you've been exposed at all to the effects of psychology, you'll watch this video and become immediately disgusted with the fact that they're feeding your kids constant toxic garbage. They're feeding them poison. They're feeding them something that's going to destroy them so much psychologically that they will never have to consider the black man to be a threat, because the black man will be so busy being in love with the Coco that he'll never fall in love with a black woman. He'll be so busy falling in love with the Coco that he'll never fall in love with his dream. He'll be so busy falling in love with the Coco that he never falls in love with his own dignity, self-respect, and triumph in this world that is designed to kill you. It is designed to kill your son from the time he is born. When every black boy is born, there are two things built for him in America. One is a prison cell, one is a casket. If you don't believe me, go look at the statistics. We incarcerate more black men in America than South Africa did during the height of apartheid. We incarcerate enough black men in America to fill all the prisons in the next 8 countries combined. We incarcerate so many black men in America. We incarcerate more black men in America today than there were enslaved in 1850. So basically, we have to look at this for what it is. Understand that that hip hop, commercialized hip hop. I'm not talking about the real hip hop. I'm not talking about the real artists, the Immortal Techniques, the D1s, cats like that. I'm not talking about those guys at all. The Chuck D's. No, those are real hip hop artists. I'm talking about these people that have bastardized and stolen the most one of the most beautiful art forms of all time. These individuals have become the Pied Pipers for black male self destruction. They will sing a pretty tune and get you to be so damn to embrace your ignorance so much that you will be singing and dancing to the beat of your own genocide. No other community would allow it. The Jews would never allow people to do to them what we're allowing people to do to us. And a lot of times, the reason we're doing it is we're either in love with the cocoa or we're in love with the money. And you really can't think that way. You got to be smarter than that. So that's all I want to say about this song. It's the most racist song I've heard in my life. It's absolutely disgusting. It's not the kind of thing that any self-respecting black person should support. I know it's a catchy tune. I'm sure the guy's talented, but at the end of the day, it's racism, and racism can't have a black face. So keep that in mind. It's not the color of the puppet that matters. It's the color of the puppet master. And these guys are not the masters of their own fate. They're being controlled by some white man who wants to destroy your son. And that's it. I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from Your Black World. Please take care. God bless. I'm gone.